Yes, I might be the director of Entire Brands, but I always feel that an employee is equally as important as I am, and they can make or break your company.
Best product of your company is your employee.
There's been a golden thread in the conversation around client experience and making the client feel like they're your only client.
Absolutely. One-to-one from start to finish. You deal just with us. We include not only our clients, our designers, and all our team members as well, so everyone can put their ideas forward. And that way we'll come to a completely different concept or idea for brand, and we try and make it a unique experience with us.
Never stop thinking about how to delight your customer. Not to satisfy your customer, but to delight your customer. And no company's ever failed that had millions of delighted customers, and you start with them and you get them one at a time.
We have a client in Dubai, so her expectation is very high. We're able to do like a little bit more creative ideas. We're able to come with those ideas and put them forward to our clients in South Africa, also creating different ideas for them to think of outside the box.
There's no substitute for hard work. People say luck, yes, but the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Companies need to have kind of a clear strategy of why they're different, why they're adding value, why they're producing something special that customers need that they're not getting now.
There are two big brands that you work with, Heineken and Amstel. Is there a difference working with a brand that size? Is there a different way of approaching maybe the pitch, the securing of the order, the delivery of that order? Are there any things that are slightly different to maybe pitching to a smaller entity or a smaller brand?
Our approach has always been that no matter how small you are or how big you are, we treat you like gold. Even when we have really small clients, we make sure that we make a big fuss about them and they are everything. Dealing with bigger clients is bigger headaches sometimes, tighter timelines, last minute changes.
Your brand is an extension of the customer's need to say something. So you got to figure out what do your customers need to say and how do you use your brand to give them the ability to say this.
We give you that experience where you are our all, where lots of like bigger companies and brands, you almost become like a number with them, where with us, like you are our number one.
Let's sort of untangle that story step by step.
I'm the owner of Entire Brands. And I started my journey to empower women. So I do have a few female staff that work for me. And all I wanted to do was make the change and make your experience dealing with us beautiful from start to finish. And that is what we came about in Entire Brands.
Amazing. And what was the problem that you guys identified?
I think that to do marketing, it is so many of us that offer it. So our key point is to offer a one-to-one clients from start to finish. You deal just with us, and we give you that experience where you are our all, where lots of like bigger companies and brands, you almost become like a number with them, where with us, like you are our number one. So that is how we are set aside and different to the rest of the marketing agencies out there.
That's amazing. And I did a bit of research, and it looks like that segment of the market, or that industry is very clustered. There's a lot of people.
Saturated.
Saturated being the better word.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned client experience. Are there any other ways that you figured out to unlock niches or certain parts of the market that others wouldn't necessarily tap? I suppose the question is, what differentiates you from some of the other players in the market?
So I think for us, we have different views and ideas on the project at hand. So we look at it from different aspects. We include not only our clients, our designers, and all our team members as well, so everyone can put their ideas forward. And that way we'll come to a completely different concept or idea for brand, and we try and make it a unique experience with us.
Amazing. Could you tell us a little bit more about how that experience is unique?
So, for instance, we have a client in Dubai, so her expectation is very high. So for her, we're able to do like a little bit more creative ideas, custom coffees, custom chocolates, things like that, breads at events where people in South Africa wouldn't really think of things like that in Dubai. So we're able to come with those ideas and put them forward to our clients in South Africa, also creating different ideas for them to think of outside the box.
And I'm sure as a marketing agency or a brand agency, you've mastered the art of go-to-market. How do people find you? What do you feel is the best way to find Entire Brands? And how have you optimized that client journey?
So I think our best way would be like social media. We're getting quite out on social media. We work on quite big brands as well. Our clients actually recommend us to a lot of new clients as well. That's kind of where we are found most.
Okay, amazing. And then there are two big brands that you've worked with.
Yes,
Am I able to name drop those brands?
you can.
Okay, great. So it's Heineken and Amstel.
Absolutely.
So those are absolutely amazing players in the market, well-known brands. And it says a lot about your business that they've trusted you with their brand.
Absolutely.
What have the lessons been working with big organizations?
Sure.
You know, the positives, maybe some of the challenges that you've had to address.
We've also worked on Vintuk, which I think was probably our biggest brand, like activation was working on the Durban July and working on Ultimate Braai Master. With that came lots of sleepless nights, trial and error. You know, not every job's going to go perfectly fine, and you are going to have a few jobs that are rejected or something's not happy. But what we learned from it was we took it on the chin, we fixed up where we could, and we offered the clients something better or something different for them. Those brands are absolutely phenomenal to work on, and we've been very lucky to work with them. We've enjoyed all our activations, all our apparel, gifts, and whatever it is. We have loved the project from start to finish, and I think that when you give the project your all, that's also what sets you aside from it, because you're so excited to see what your end product's going to look like that you just want to make sure that you're producing the best for the clients.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And in terms of the experience, is there a difference working with a brand that size? Because I'm sure you stretch across from smaller brands to bigger brands to enormous brands like these two or the three that you've mentioned. Is there a different way of approaching maybe the pitch, the securing of the order, the delivery of that order? Are there any things that are slightly different to maybe pitching to a smaller entity or a smaller brand?
So I think our approach has always been that no matter how small you are or how big you are, we treat you like gold. Even when we have really small clients, we make sure that we make a big fuss about them and they are everything. Dealing with bigger clients is bigger headaches sometimes, tighter timelines, last minute changes. So in that aspect, you learn to work a little bit better under pressure. You try always have a plan B in case plan A doesn't work out or that they change last minute. But from our side, like I think big and small, we appreciate all the work and we give our clients attention to detail on both scales, big and small.
I think that's a very good answer. That is a very good answer. Now, you've mentioned, and I think there's been a golden thread in our conversation around client experience and making the client feel like they're your only client.
Absolutely.
Now, in order to execute on that, you need a team that buys into that mission, into that purpose. People that may be having bad times as employees, they leave that at the door and they come into your space and they give clients the best, only the best of themselves and of your brand.
Absolutely.
How do you go about, maybe tell us a little bit about the team and then how you cultivated a culture that puts the client at the center?
Yeah. So originally when I started it was just myself. I then had Lara, who joined the team as a half-day staff member. And then she slowly just became such a big part of my business. And yes, I might be the director of NK Brands, but I always feel that an employee is equally as important as I am, and they can make or break your company. So Lara grew with me and she just started growing with the brands, and she actually became full-time with me, and she's just recently moved up from Bethlehem to Joburg, so she can be like full in office, in with me every day. And her approach to client was the same as mine. So we worked really well in that sense. We then got Shloni on board with us as well, and she's just freshly starting off also just half and half, you know, coming in and out of things. So I am trying to keep it a little bit more woman-owned, a little bit more woman-empowered. I think that also is what sets us apart. But if you have a strong team behind you that has the same idea and the same end goal as you, I can't see you going wrong with that at all.
Agreed. Now, I suppose when the bigger brands started approaching you or you started doing bigger projects, the business might have needed a little bit of capital.
Correct.
Access to cash flow. I also know with some of the bigger corporates, the payment terms are a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So when you invoice, you're waiting a little bit longer. So I'm sure the business, like many businesses out there, went through a time where you needed a bit of money in order to keep things going and keep growing.
Absolutely.
I think that's where Sourcefin entered the picture.
Definitely.
I would love to hear your story, the start of the journey with Sourcefin, where you found us, where you found Sourcefin. And yeah, let's start there and then let's sort of untangle that story step by step.
I went onto the web and Sourcefin came up as a potential.
What did you type in?
I typed in
This is very important.
invoice funding, if
Very
I'm not
good.
mistaken,
And
Sourcefin came up
That
on
is
top.
fantastic news.
So I inquired and I got through to a gentleman, if I'm not mistaken, by the name of Nati.
Okay, great.
And he was actually just a delight to deal with from start to finish. And he said to me, if you're available tomorrow, please come through and meet David. Like, he's so lovely. You're going to be super happy. And I was like, okay, well, the quicker the better. Like, let's get this going. I came through and I met David, and he was so lovely, so enthusiastic about my business, keen to listen and hear what I was doing. And I think within 2 hours, David was like, we're going to be your supplier. Like, here's Jordan. Go to Melrose Arch, sign it all over. It's done. From there, it was literally just a seamless process with David. I think I was with David for about 2 months. Then he had a little bit of personal matters to deal with. And then I was handed over to Cody. I don't know who's enjoyed the relationship more, Cody or myself, but he's been an absolute great guy to work with and deal with. He pays so much attention to detail. Like, if I message him 7 o'clock in the morning, he's like, you know, send through your POD, your invoice, your PO. Let's get Sonia onto it. He just keeps you updated. Like, hey, Jade, I haven't heard back. Can you just like push a little bit on your side? And so I do. So to be honest with you, the whole process with Sourcefin has been amazing. Like, I have not only enjoyed working with the people, but the support that I've got and how it turned my business around there's never going to be enough thank yous for it. My business went from small to huge because of Sourcefin, and their staff were completely helpful and willing from word go. So I couldn't fault Sourcefin on a thing. I can only ever thank them enough for everything that I have.
So that's an amazing testimony. And I think what I've learned from you is your culture and your values are very similar and aligned to Sourcefin's values and culture. Client centricity and service driven is one of the core values for us.
Definitely.
And when it comes to partnership, there needs to be an alignment of values. So as much as you love Sourcefin, it's clear that the people that are supporting you love supporting you.
Absolutely.
And love seeing the brand that you've built and their brands grow from where you were
to where we are.
to where you are. And that's
Absolutely.
it's amazing that we were able to help you up that staircase,
Yes.
in a sense. I suppose the other question is, there were lots of options.
Yes.
I think there's a huge funding gap in the market. Apparently it's like $350 billion or rands, one of the
Okay.
currencies. But there's so many providers, banks, business funders, alternative funders that are able to offer funding.
Yeah.
Did you explore any of those before you came to Sourcefin?
I did have a look at a few others, but I think for them, the approach was kind of more like you're a number, whereas Sourcefin's approach is they're interested in you and your business. So calling you in and having that one-on-one conversation with you is also very different, whereas like having a telephonical conversation with somebody isn't the exact same as coming in and meeting you and being like, this is who I am, this is who you guys are. It's very different when it's a one-on-one approach versus over the phone. And I think that that's what sets Sourcefin apart from the rest, is that they really are interested in you and your business. They're not just like, oh, she's on the phone, sorry, we can't help. They really do look into you.
And I think the evidence in that is you've been able to name drop most of our company. You started with Nati, then David, then Cody, then Sonia, then Jordan.
Gone all over. I mean, they're really so great.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Cool. And then I suppose, what's the road forward? What's the road ahead with Sourcefin?
So,
We're hoping to work with you.
yeah,
into the
Cody
future.
definitely doesn't want to get rid of me, but we won't say that too loud either. David wants me back. But I think all round, the support that you get from Sourcefin, I mean, if my business continues as it is, yes, it's great that the cash flow is there and so forth, but knowing that you've got Sourcefin's backing is also really great. I would definitely still like to continue my journey with Sourcefin next year, and if work stays as it is and everything continues growing, I definitely think we're going to stay with Sourcefin. I wouldn't move. There's no reason to. And I'm just excited to see where we're going to go next year.
Amazing. And I think lessons for other SMMEs looking for funding. So we go to conferences and events, and a lot of SMMEs are a little bit despondent because they may have applied for certain funding from different providers. And perhaps sometimes it's not necessarily as a result of their application or the funder saying no. It's maybe that they weren't ready to be funded by that funder.
Yeah.
Are there any lessons that you've learned during the process of being funded by Sourcefin that you could pass on to another SMME looking for funding, whether it's with Sourcefin or another brand? What are the things that need to be ready, and how do you need to collaborate with a funder to improve your chances of being funded?
I think that that's really hard for any small company coming up. Like, is someone going to be able to take the chance on me? Is someone going to trust me? Is someone going to be able to do that? And that's where Sourcefin came in. They were willing to take your hand. I think don't get despondent. I think you need to test the waters and see what other providers are out there, where your best chances are going to be. I know that we all want to land these huge jobs because you see the dollar sign and you think that that's it. But I also think taking on smaller jobs and building your base up is also super important so that you're also ready to take on those bigger projects, because with those bigger projects, it's not only bigger funding, but it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of everything all in between. So I definitely think that as a business, you need to just grow gradually instead of growing too big too quickly, and then you end up in a situation you don't want to be in. Take the small steps, put your hand out there, keep testing the waters. It will soon fall for you.
Right at the start, when you started speaking about Sourcefin, you said you typed in invoice funding.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, what we found, and when I go to conferences, whenever I ask SMMEs who need money or need funding, ask them what do they type into Google. They type either a loan or a grant.
No.
And then I ask them what happens. It's the typical traditional funders that come up and they might not be able to support that.
Correct.
What's amazing with you is you had knowledge of that specific product, that full purpose funding.
Correct.
How did you come across that?
So a very good friend of mine actually said to me that I should look into invoice funding.
Okay.
It's a little bit easier than getting like a loan or credit cards or anything of the sort. So when I looked into invoice funding and I've learned about the invoice funding, it's definitely a much easier route and a little bit more of a safer route to go by versus like a loan, because you could be capped on a loan at say like 250,000 Rand, where your invoice funding, especially at Sourcefin, like your base will grow depending on how big you guys are. So invoice funding is definitely the route to go and to look into. It's safe, they help you, they guide you. I would definitely recommend invoice funding versus going a loan or credit card routes.
And what we've said to SMMEs, and when we explain invoice funding, why it's a better fit for some SMMEs is maybe a traditional lender wouldn't necessarily grant them a loan because maybe they've gone through a tough time with judgments, maybe they're not up to date with SARS. So those traditional lenders that look backwards may not be able to fund. But an alternative funder, an open-minded funder that looks forward, like Sourcefin, where they see an opportunity, whether it's an invoice that's going to be paid or a purchase order that's going to be delivered, at least we can secure the loan on that future payment rather than the historic payment. And that opens the door for SMMEs like you to access the funding opportunity.
Absolutely. And another thing that Sourcefin also taught me was the whole PO funding, that they're also willing to deal with your supplier and go the extra length doing the whole project for you with your preferred supplier, and if not actually getting you a better price than what you were given. So PO and invoice funding is definitely a much better route to go on things with businesses, definitely.
And on that, the secret is in the source. So I'm not sure if you've seen in our logo, the source is bold.
Yes.
Because that's the secret source of Sourcefin. We're able to introduce you to suppliers.
Correct.
And the nice thing is, if we save you money, those savings are passed on to you as a client.
Absolutely.
So that is really a nice value add. And I'm not sure if they told you about our offices in China. We've got a sister company that's based in China. So I know we've done similar work with Heineken, Amstel, with branding and things coming from there. So it's another nice outlet for you as a business to access a market where it may be slightly cheaper. I have no doubt you're looking more at South African suppliers because you want to support local. But sometimes the margins are so tight that you have to look elsewhere.
Correct.
And it's nice that Sourcefin can give you that opportunity.
Definitely. So for us, obviously, with Heineken, the big bulk quantity orders, you can't beat China's price, nor can you beat China's lead times. So sometimes looking into China is your only route, and to have Sourcefin giving you that support and backing in China is also really great to have.
Amazing. Now I want to test a trend with you.
Okay.
So I did a little bit of research, and I think one thing that inspired me about your story is that you're a proudly women-led, women-owned business.
Correct.
And you mentioned that a little bit earlier. It's a secret sauce of yours. It's a differentiator. So I did a bit of research, and it seems that there's only 1 in 5 formal businesses in South Africa that are women-owned. The research shows even though they're more profitable and more results-oriented, I actually saw another stat in a FinFund report where women-led businesses are more likely to reinvest their profits into the communities to drive impact. So women-owned businesses are clearly something we want to grow in South Africa and the global economy. Do you feel like women-owned businesses are being treated in a similar way to men-owned? Do you get the same types of opportunity? Do you access the same types of resources?
I think it boils down to who you are and your personality that will get you your clients. I don't believe it's women-owned, men-owned. No, I believe that it's your approach, it's how you are with the client that will get you the job. So for us, I kind of feel like we are very vibrant, very friendly, outgoing people. My whole team is like that. For us, I don't think that we are against men in that sense. But we like the challenge. But no, I don't think so. I think it just genuinely boils down to your approach, your values, what you think is right, what you think is wrong, and what you put forward to your client that's actually in the end going to end you the project or not.
Then another trend.
Yeah.
We can't get away from it. AI is
Ridiculous.
changing the game. It's taken the world by storm. It's amazing to see where it's come from in 3 short years.
Crazy.
And where will we be in the next 10 years? I wonder if you've embraced or leaned into any of the AI technologies that are coming through and how they've changed the way you do business.
I'm no tech guru at all. Like, tell me to deal with clients and I'm all in. Tell me to deal with technology and I'm like, Lara, that's your baby. Lara has embraced it. She's learned a lot about it. She's done lots of research. She's definitely way more hands-on in terms of those things. To be very honest with you, anything that's got to do with that would be Lara that would need to be answering you, not me. But she definitely keeps up with it. She keeps up with the trends. She's constantly updating me on what's happening. I'm like, Lara, as long as you're on top of it, babe, like, we good. Like, I'll keep steamrolling with the client.
There's one more question.
Okay.
And probably the most important question, but no pressure. SMMEs will look to your story. They'll be inspired by your story because you prove that with the right grit, determination, attitude, you're capable of growing.
Yeah.
Right? And you've said it's all about attitude. So I suppose there are going to be SMMEs out there. Maybe they have started and they failed a few times. Maybe they're going through a tough time now. Maybe AI is displacing some of their value propositions. What would that one piece of advice be? What would you tell yourself when you started your brand? What was that bit of advice you wish someone sitting in this room would have told you?
I have fallen on so many hard times that sometimes I wasn't sure that I was even going to be able to pick myself up. I'm also a single parent to 2 beautiful kids, and I think that every day that is my motivation, is to be the best I can for them. And as soon as you get that first project in or something big, it is so exciting that you automatically become hungry for more. Don't be despondent on the rejection, and don't be despondent on an order going wrong, because your next one is going to be better and your next one is going to be bigger. And I promise you now, in the end, the sleepless nights and the uncertainty, when the project is done, it is the best feeling ever. And just believe in yourself and your team and you will do amazing things.
What a beautiful message. And I think the only thing to add is have a partner like Sourcefin.
Absolutely. Have them. They definitely are the people that you want to partner up with. Support all the time from 7 in the morning till 6 at night. They're there on weekends. They're willing to assist at any time. Sourcefin is definitely the person that you guys should partner up with.
Jay, thank you so much.
Thank
that
you,
was
Jay.
unbelievable.
Pleasure.
So
Thank
nice to
you.
learn
It was
about your
lovely.
story.